Vijay ji, you're on mute. By any chance, if you're speaking, sorry.
Okay, am I unmuted now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Namaste, everybody. Welcome back to our Monday session. As you know that we are discussing about Māndūkya Upanishad. About this Māndūkya Upanishad, it has been said that it is enough or suffice for self-realization. Mokshe Māndūkyam alam is the phrase in Sanskrit that means for self-realization, Māndūkya Upanishad is suffice or is enough. Let us catch up the last 4 mantras. As we have seen before, the very first mantra is about Om, but we will be discussing, the first mantra is about Om, but we will discuss that mantra at the end of the Māndūkya Upanishad. The second mantra is about Brahma. All this is verily Brahma. This Atma is Brahma. This Atma has 4 quarters. And as we have seen that these quarters are not like 4 separate quarters as in 4 legs of cow or an animal. These quarters are merged into each other. So the first quarter merges into the second quarter, and in the first 2 quarters, they merge into the third quarter, and all 3 quarters merge into the 4th quarter. Mantra 3, the first quarter is omnipresent or Vaishvanara, whose sphere of activities is waking state, knower of the external existence. It is with 7 limbs and 19 mouths, and it is the enjoyer or the consumer of the gross objects. 7 limbs relate to the body parts, and 19 mouths are our 10 senses, 5 vital airs or 5 pranas, and mind, intelligence, awareness, and ego, 4 inner instruments or 4 antahakaran. In 4th mantra, we have seen before that the second quarter is tejas or luminous, whose sphere of activities is the dream state. It is the knower of the internal existence, again with 7 limbs and 19 mouths, and it is the consumer of the subtle, non-physical or mental objects. Whatever we perceive through our physical body in our waking state, it reflects in our dream state, again with our whatever you have perceived through our physical body. The 5th mantra, last time we have seen that wherein the sleeper does not desire for any objects, nor does he any dream, that is the state of deep sleep or the sushupti state. The 3rd quarter is the prajna, one that knows, whose sphere is deep sleep, where one is undivided, undifferentiated, omnisciently homogeneous, full of bliss, enjoyer of bliss, and whose mouth is consciousness. In deep sleep or in the sushupti state, there remains only the consciousness, which is omnisciently homogeneous. It means that it is same everywhere, all the time, and there is no division, there is no differentiation. Today we will see the mantra 7 or 6, sorry, 6. Esha Sarveshwara, Esha Sarvagna, Esha Antaryami, Esha Yonihi, Sarvasya Prabhavapyayo hi Bhutana. This is the Ishwar or the Lord of all. This is omniscient, one that knows everything. This is the controller within. This is the source of all. This is that from which all things originate and in which they finally disappear. So this was the 6th mantra of Māndūkya Upanishad, where before we have seen that Māndūkya Upanishad is talking about or was talking about these 3 states. And then the Atma, which is running through all those 3 states, from physical body to subtle body and to deep sleep, where there is only consciousness remains. That Atma or that entity is the Ishvara or Lord of all, Sarveshwara. The same Atma is Sarvagya or omniscient, knows everything. The same Atma is the controller within, that is Antaryami, one that resides within, and that is the source of all. If you remember, in the 2nd mantra, Māndūkya Upanishad said that Sarvam hi etat Brahma, all this is Brahma, and this Atma is also Brahma. Now that Atma is omniscient, controller within, source of all, and that from which all things originate and in which they finally disappear. Somebody may ask the one question, that if all this existence is Brahma, all this existence is the Lord of all the existence is omniscient and the controller within, and all this existence is the source of itself, then how come we as an individual entity, as an individual person, always think that we have to do something to attain the state of self-realization? We have to do something to reach that goal of self-realization. Because if you are that, then definitely you do not have to recite it all the time. You do not have to actually be aware of that goal all the time, because you are that. For an example, we do not recite our name or physical name. Say, for example, my name is Vijay. I do not recite every second or all the time, not even once a day, or say once in a month. Or I do not actually keep reminding me that I am Vijay, I am Vijay. No one does that. And why do we have to remind ourselves about this goal of self-realization, about this goal that we have to reach that state because we are that, and what we think in our mind that we are this body or we are not this Atma or we are something else apart from the omniscientness or the controllership or the source of everything or the Ishwar of all. Sages or rishis or the seers have called it Maya or the ignorance. That one who does not know his or her true form is the most ignorant being. But why do we have to keep ourselves reminding that we are that, we are that, we are that, or I am Brahma? Sometimes we think that we as an Atma is bound with this ignorance, and the Atma that is bound with the ignorance thinks about its existence as a physical body. But in fact, it is not our Atma, it is not that Atma that thinks that it is bound. It is our mind. It is our intelligence. It is those four equipments, mind, intelligence, and the reflected consciousness, which is Chitta and ego. Those four equipments, the inner equipments, the antakarana, they think that they have to reach that goal because they are not that Atma. Atma does not think about reaching any goal because Atma does not have to go anywhere to feel the bliss. Atma does not have to think about finding the way of self-realization because Atma is everything. Atma is self-realized. Atma was never bound with ignorance. It cannot be bound with ignorance. It was pure consciousness. And pure consciousness cannot be shelled or cannot be covered by ignorance as light cannot be covered by the darkness. Darkness is nothing but the absence of light. There is no such thing as darkness. It is simply the absence of light. We cannot bring upon the darkness. We can say, bring the light or switch on the light. We cannot say, bring a darkness because there is no darkness. But falsely, those four equipments, mind and intelligence, they think that they are not omniscient. They think that they are not the controller within. They think that they are bound with darkness. So here Māndūkya, in Māndūkya Upanishad, Māndūkya Rishi says that Atma, that is Brahma, is the Lord of all. it is omniscient, it is the controller within, and this is the source of all. The entire existence we perceive originates from us, and in us, the entire existence will finally disappear. This was the sixth mantra of Māndūkya Upanishad. Please do share your ideas, thoughts, and wisdom. Thank you very much.
Vijay sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for this wonderful knowledge sharing. I was just thinking, so you said there are four internal elements which are in fact trying to to know this Atma, right, in us, if I understood correctly.
Those four internal equipments, or the Antahkarana is in Sanskrit.
Yeah. And these, what are these four?
Yes, Antahkarana, or the internal equipments, instruments. Mind, mana is mind.
Yeah.
Buddhi is intelligence. Then chitta is reflected awareness or the consciousness. And ahankar means ego.
Okay.
They are just the parts of our physical brain. When we think that it is called mind, when we decide something, for an example, like say for example, a mother tells her baby that this is a mango tree. So initially, baby's mind thinks that this is a mango tree. That is called thinking. And then, because everyone says that, so the baby determines that this kind of tree is called a mango tree. And then that is going into baby's awareness. So whenever actually you ask the baby would say this is a mango tree. At the end of the day, the ego, it is concluding part of any thinking. Now that will not change ever, because the baby has been, we can say, brainwashed as such, or baby has been fed the information by society, by parents, by everybody, that this is the mango tree. And if someone tries to convince the baby that this is not a mango tree, this is something else, then baby will not actually believe that. So end of the day, the ahankar, that is actually passing the resolution that this is the mango tree. All these four equipments or instruments, inner instruments, they belong to our brain. They are just part of, they are given the different name according to their functions. Now that mind thinks that that it is bound with maya or ignorance, or the intelligence have decided that the Atman is actually already bound by the darkness or the ignorance or by maya. And those kind of words are always there. Those kind of thinking is always there. And so they think that they are bound, and then they realize that there is a goal there. They are not bound, but there is a goal to achieve. So they think about achieving the goal, not the Atma, because Atma doesn't have to achieve anything.
Mm-hmm.
It is the source, it is the controller, it is the Brahma or everything. So when some people say that, fine, uh, initially his or her Atma was believing that it was bound, and now because they have done something, some sadhana, now it is released or liberated or emancipated. But
Mm-hmm.
it is not the Atma, it is just our uh, different functions of our brain, and they
Mm-hmm.
think accordingly because of the you can say the brainwashing from the society, from the culture, from the brought up, and uh, not knowing the reality.
Mm-hmm. So then, uh, so two questions come to my mind. Sorry. So now our Atma is different from our brain, which has these four internal functions. Let's say they are separate, right? So when for example a person dies, the Atma leaves, and again, as per the karmas, maybe it reincarnates somewhere. But then does it carry with it these four, you know, what it has learned, or the brain part, or how is it? It's two separate.
Right. Now, this is the question which would create some kind of controversy,
Okay.
or you can say contradiction even. For example, we always believe, we means whoever believes in the spirituality or in religion, or who believes in Atma,
Mm-hmm.
or the soul, like such, that when a person dies, and how it happens, so we say that because the person's soul or Atma has left the body,
Mm-hmm.
so that person is now dead. So death is when Atma leaves the body.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we think.
Yeah.
But on other side, why we are contradicting ourselves? On other side, we always say that the Atma is everywhere, because Atma is not a kind of a particle. Atma is everywhere, as it says in here in Māndūkya as well. Atma is a
Brahma.
Brahma, and there is no space without Brahma or Atma. So, if we say that Atma is everywhere, then it does not have to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? That we believe, some people believe that Atma leaves the body, and whatever the actions or karmas
Mm-hmm.
that physical body uh, has done with the help of that consciousness or Atma, those karmas, actions, bad or good, according to the definitions of society actually.
Mm-hmm.
So those karmas remain with the soul, with the Atma. But that is not the true situation, because consciousness or Atma is pure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually carry any good or bad karmas with his or her backpack, as his or her backpack.
Mm-hmm.
But because we see all these different kind of mentality, different kind of situation, different kind of states of the people on this earth. Some people are poor, some people are rich, some people are suffering, some people are enjoying. some are and it's like some are beautiful, some are handsome, some are ugly. So all different kind of all the two poles actually, like the good and bad as such, or happy and unhappy. So we actually think that why there is a difference between the human beings, or why there are insect and animals and trees and other living beings, and there are human beings. So there must be a reason behind that, and so the definition or the idea of karma originated. Just actually justify the happiness or the unhappiness of of all living beings. But it is not like that, because there is no such thing as good or bad. We, we may differ. Some people would say, no, there are some things which is good, there are some things which is not good. But if we think deeply, what do we consider as good? Whatever is not hurting, that is, we say it is good. Kindness, compassion, helping each other, love, etc. And whatever is hurting us, and we say that is sin, that is not good. And why is that? Because we all have the basic instinct of survival. We want to survive. And if someone hurts us, then survival will become difficult. So you can see that human mind and human society, or the existence here on this earth, we have always defined the goodness because that goodness is going to help us to survive. But in fact, there are no such thing as good or bad. All those things, all definitions depend on the society, depend on the culture, and depend on the time. At one time, something may be good. After that time, that's the good will become bad. Or sometimes there's something would be bad, and that bad will become good after a while. So from that, the idea of karmas originated. But Atma is pure, absolutely conscious. There is no place for darkness there. Atma is luminous. And when we say luminous or darkness, it's just example to show the difference between ignorance and the knowledge. So when we say Atma departs from the body, Atma does not depart from the body from anywhere and to anywhere. Because all these things are nothing but the consciousness. Even our body is also Atma. Everything we see, we perceive is nothing but the consciousness, nothing but the Chaitanya, nothing but the Brahma. But that Brahma is expressed as this body. This Brahma is being manifested as a stone, a rock, a tree, a human being, an animal, an insect, even any molecules, any cells, any particles, even electron, even proton, neutron, whatever you call it. Everything is nothing but the Atma, or nothing but the Brahma. So Atma doesn't go anywhere. Atma doesn't carry any backpack of karmas, good or bad. Once the expression of that Atma is not through this body, then we call it a dead body. When Atma is being expressed through any physical element, then we call it is alive. And when Atma is not expressing itself through any physical body, then we call it is dead. So once Atma stops being expressed through any physical body, that's the end of story.
Mhm.
All this is nothing but the game. All this existence is nothing but the game. And when one departs or one dies, as we say, one dies, that is the end of story.
Mhm.
Because that existence is now again went back to the source. And then there would be another existence. And then also that existence will again return to the source. And then again, the Atma would be expressed through other existence. So the theory of karmas or the theory of the principle of karmas or carrying the journey of soul, because that all those things are only originated because of what we actually see on this earth.
The differences.
Yes, happiness and unhappiness. Otherwise,
Mhm.
this is like a game. One has become, say, Hitler, and one has become Krishna, and the Atma is Brahma has expressed as Krishna, and Brahma is expressed as Hitler, and Brahma is expressed as an animal, and Brahma is expressed as any particle. Everything is
Mhm.
Brahma. So
Mhm.
if we concentrate on that everything is Brahma, and Brahma is everywhere, then there will be nowhere to go and nowhere to come from, because Brahma is everywhere. And if we
Mhm.
say that we go somewhere, the Atma goes somewhere from here, it simply means that Atma has limitation. It is not unlimited. It is confined. It is sized. It is measurable. But according to what we believe, like Krishna says in chapter 2 of Gita, that Atma is everywhere. And you cannot uh, cut the Atma, you cannot wet the Atma, you cannot dry the Atma, and you cannot put fire on Atma, because Atma is avikari, that is unchangeable. And Atma is everywhere, and there is nothing but the Atma.
Mhm. So then, sorry, one last question, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
why do we then? So we know that you know Atma is everywhere and is pure. And why do we meditate to you know to know
Yes,
about it?
yes. Once you realize that, what happened, Ashtavakra went to Janak king, Raja, and
Mm.
then Ashtavakra preached about this uh, Atma and Brahma and everything. And in the last chapter of Ashtavakra Gita, uh, it says that what do I have to do with the meditation? That was the question. That
Mhm.
you don't need meditation then, but only when you realize your true self. Meditation is just the, you can say, an equipment or a sadhan to achieve that goal, or to realize ourselves. If one knows that, and if one is realized about his or her true self, then for those person, it is all the time the meditation. It's all the time the witnessing state. But because our mind, our intelligence tell us that, well, we are bound with Maya, we are bound with darkness or ignorance, and then to come out from that belief, to come out from that darkness or ignorance, we have to meditate. And then we start meditating. But once you go into the void state, when there remains nothing, no awake state, no dream state, not even deep sleep, and when you go into that state, shunya, or the void state, and ourselves, because there is no mind. In void state, there is no mind. In void state, there is no intelligence. there is no reflected awareness, and there is no ego. So in that state, one realizes that what is the true form of a particular existence. So there, meditation drops out. It's only to realize ourselves. And because of all this, I would say, brainwashing of different kind, from different culture, from different ideas, from different thoughts, from different schools of philosophies, and the world around, we believe, or our mind believes that our intelligence determines that we are bound with darkness or ignorance. But in reality, we are not.
Mhm. Thank you very much, Vijay sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Madhuji or Rameshji, we can now conclude the session if you want to.
This is Nilima. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Vijayji, for the session and for the beautiful question and answer. And Vindhyaji was writing like, it seems so simple yet so complex to understand. I like the comparison of our name that you mentioned and said about our awareness, and similarly awareness about we are that. Thanks a lot, Vindhyaji. And this was all about the session, my dear friends. And thank you. Thank you once again. And we connect all for tomorrow's morning session by Master Session. So we'll be updating the session details on the Zoom link. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.